dodecahedron.
A team of scientists headed by Jeffrey Weeks made a remarkable deduction about the universe. They believe, based on cosmic radiation data they've accrued, that the universe may in fact be a dodecahedron-shaped system, which is quite incredible. So again, we have this number 12, and we have leading scientists saying, hey, yes, this may well be the actual shape of our reality.
So this discovery shows us that from the macro level, the universe level, down to the societal level, that the number 12 seems to be the ruling mystical number of the universe.
Curiously, the idea that the universe takes the shape of a dodecahedron was also theorized by the Greek philosopher Plato more than 2,000 years earlier.
Plato describes an early image of the Earth in something called the Phaedo as a dodecahedron, that is 12 panels. This shape represents the ether, the life-sustaining life force that animates everything.
The Greeks were masters of geometry, and Plato and many of the Greeks thought that this was the key to the universe. That the universe obeyed what are called magic numbers. Magic numbers encoded in the laws of geometry, numbers which seem to be the basis of reality. Numbers created by the gods that were talking to us through numbers.
What Plato described is the view that is seen by the gods or by advanced souls who are able to escape the physical and enter into the metaphysical realm. Where did Plato get that knowledge? It's quite possible that he came into contact with some higher intelligence, maybe even extraterrestrials, that want to see us ultimately fulfill our destiny.
Is it possible that special knowledge was imparted to Plato so that future generations of humans would take notice and seek to better understand the cosmic significance of the number 12? And if so, could this also be why the number 12 was incorporated in so many ancient structures? Perhaps further clues can be found by examining curious anomalies within our own human DNA. Columbia University, New York. Within a collection held by the Institute is an ancient Mesopotamian tablet known as Plimpton 322. Dated to roughly 1800 BC. It contains insight into the mathematical system of the ancient Sumerians.
Modern culture and civilization started in Sumeria 6,000 years ago. Almost the world's first modern city and the world's first use of technology that we use today. The wheeled and axle vehicle, a plow, the arch, the world's first zero, a pyramidal structure, a writing system, cuneiform, and this math system based on 12s and 60s. Some of their mathematics still fascinate us today. They were able to achieve a lot with their system because it was based on 60. 60 is 5 times 12. It allowed them to avoid the messiness of fractions.
6 toes. Newspaper Rock in Utah, same thing.
Did our ancestors encounter otherworldly beings with 12 fingers and 12 toes? Ancient astronaut theorists suggest evidence that such stories are true, and that these beings, even mated with humans, still exists in our own DNA. Yasuni National Forest, Ecuador, 1958. Deep in the Amazon basin, American missionaries discover a previously unknown indigenous tribe centuries removed from human civilization. Incredibly, the Waorani people nearly all possess 12 fingers and 12 toes.
In 1983, the New York Times reported on the work of a medical doctor and immunologist who did a study on the Waorani tribe of Ecuador and found that these people had extraordinary health benefits.
Study is that the operation of the extra digit was essentially hardwired into its own unique part of the brain in terms of the motor control. So it wasn't like it was stealing from another part of the brain in order to operate that extra digit. It was fully integrated into the sort of neurological system.
The medical term for the condition of having extra digits is polydactyly. The recessive trait actually occurs in nearly 1 in 1,000 live births, suggesting that it may, in fact, be part of the early human genome. And the occurrence of polydactyly is not entirely random. There are certain lineages where this trait is strikingly prevalent. Brasilia, Brazil, October 13th, 2017. Alessandro de Silva and his wife Katia welcome the birth of a healthy baby boy. Vinicius is the 14th member of the extended family to be born with a distinctive trait: 12 fingers and 12 toes.
A lot of times when people have 6 fingers, they can't use all their digits very well, but the Silva family is quite good at it, and then they use that extra digit. You have to wonder, is it some extraterrestrial gene that ultimately we should all have? It's an amazing thing.
According to some ancient astronaut theorists, there may be an even more profound explanation for the rare occurrence of extra digits in humans. They suggest this anomaly could be encoded into our DNA and designed to draw attention to the number 12. But why 12?
Again, here we have the number 12, and its significance is tied into just about everything.
You have to wonder if the number 12 isn't some code that has been put there in the past for us to decipher. And it's still waiting for us.
A code? Could there really be an extraterrestrial connection to the ubiquity of the number 12 in mankind's history and culture? Ancient astronaut theorists are convinced the answer is a profound yes, and suggest that further clues can be found by examining a group of 20th century scientists who were assembled to investigate and possibly communicate with UFOs. The Majestic 12. Dallas, Texas, October 25th, 1988. The Dallas Field Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation receives a copy of an alleged top-secret government document. The memo, dated November 18th, 1952, purports to be a preliminary briefing to President-elect Dwight D. Eisenhower. It details information relating to a secret committee to investigate and cover up extraterrestrial encounters.
They prepared a manual, basically briefing documents for the incoming administration. According to these documents, as Truman was preparing for the 1948 election, he assembled a group of scientists, and they were called Majestic 12, MJ-12, and they were studying UFOs.
Since the first memo surfaced, the authenticity of the MJ-12 documents has been hotly debated.
Majestic 12? Why not Majestic 11? Why not Majestic 24? Was the choosing of the number 12 or the MJ12 a coincidence or something much more significant? Are they an echo back to the 12 apostles of Jesus in the Christian tradition? Or are they 12 sons of Jacob in the Jewish tradition?
If there really was a top-secret group assembled to investigate the UFO phenomenon, does the fact that President Truman selected exactly 12 men indicate that he, or someone on his team, was aware of the significance of this number? Could it have been meant to signal to the extraterrestrials they were investigating that they were aware of the existence of some kind of code? According to the documents that surfaced, the men who made up the Majestic 12 included top scientists, government officials, and high-ranking military personnel, led by Vannevar Bush. During World War II, Bush headed the U.S. Office of Scientific Research and Development, through which almost all wartime military R&D was carried out. The MJ-12 documents also detail actual contact that this group made with alien entities.
The most important document is a restricted Psalm 101 Majestic 12 Group Special Operations Manual. And when you go to page 11, there is an extraterrestrial technology classification table. And this is solid confirmation that our government knew and was dealing with extraterrestrial entities and technology in the 40s. And if we are on a planet where there are non-humans cohabiting with us, have they finally seen that the time has come that we need to be released from the idea that we're alone in the universe?
Here we have MJ12, who are entrusted with this special knowledge. You have to ask yourself, were they signaling extraterrestrials? And this was really the first official government-style welcoming, and they were basically saying, we're ready for you.
Is it possible that the formation of the Majestic 12 was an attempt to signal to a higher intelligence that humankind now grasped the significance of this number? As far as ancient astronaut theorists are concerned, MJ12 represented an important first step towards a reconnection with our extraterrestrial ancestors. And they suggest that humanity may be on the verge of entering into a new age that was foretold in the Bible. Patmos Island, Greece, 60 AD. In a mountaintop cavern known as the Cave of the Apocalypse, St. John the Theologian wrote the last book of the Christian New Testament, the Book of Revelation. In the 12th chapter, it describes a heavenly realm called the New Jerusalem.
The book of Revelation talks about the unveiling of the new world. And so there's the earthly Jerusalem. This is a new Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem had 12 gates, 3 facing north, 3 facing south, 3 facing east, 3 facing west, 1 for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The city also had measurements that were multiples of 12.